Good morning, ladies. Welcome to your Women's Wellness Community Friday morning meditation and pranayama. So for today, we are going to be practicing putting a worry or two to rest. So this pairs beautifully with my Habit Thrive podcast. For the month of October, we are focusing on sleep. So tomorrow is part 3 in our sleep series for October. And also, I am presenting at Sherry Gibbs Empowerment Day tomorrow. So some of you might be coming on in and watching the replay right now, actually, because I will be mentioning this at our Wellness Day tomorrow to come in and welcome into the women's wellness community where we put, let's say, a lot of the things that we chat about in the podcast, we bring it to life together here in this community. So now I'm going to mention that I might be popping, if you see me disappear from here, I'm going to start you into a practice. But Jammers, my little terrier, she's a little bit unsettled. So she's been outside and she has her water and she has her food, but she's a little unsettled. So I might have to pop off the cushion and she won't stay here. She won't stay here with us either. So she's doing a little bit of pacing this morning. So I will start you into a meditation, but again, if you don't see me on the pillow, I'm coming back in, but I will bring you into our practice this morning. And so again, for those of you coming on, we are pairing this, putting your worries to rest with the latest series with the Habit Thrive podcast. And so it's not necessarily, again, something that just has to be paired with falling asleep at night. But it does tend to work really nicely, especially if you are trying to let go into sleep. You've got that chattering mind, things are percolating, and you're like, oh, I just want to sleep. I just want to rest. So then you think about identifying what perhaps is keeping you up. And so what we do in this meditation time together is we develop a relationship with our thoughts. We increase our awareness of the thoughts that are moving through our brains. And sometimes we're feeling and often I'm going to say, we feel the feeling of our thoughts in our bodies before we can even consciously connect what's going on up here to a feeling of unease or something in our stomach or our neck or our jaw. And as we practice together here Friday mornings, and those of you who are joining Suzanne on Mondays, those of you who are doing your meditation apps in between, as you are doing this, you are honing your skill of awareness of your thoughts. And so this is what we're going to do this morning. Now, in this first part, because I am going to come back to this next week, we're going to practice a way to identify, what is percolating in our minds. And then to start to think about, because you might not totally decide on this today, but to give your worry thought a little bit of an identity. Not too much of an identity, but a little bit of an image so that it is separate from you. So you recognize that your thoughts are separate than you, and definitely your worries are separate than you. They are not you. Okay, they're percolating up here or they're settling here, but they are not you. And so sometimes worries can be they can be placed like a leaf, right? They can be placed on a river and you can see it flow down. Can be a stone. Sometimes I played with the image of there's a worry and it's literally a sandbag on my shoulder. Like it's, oh my gosh, I'd love to get this sandbag off, right? Or like a pack sack of stones and you just want to let that go. When I think about the concept of rest, I have been playing with the idea of I send my worry at night to the spare bedroom. And my worry looks like actually one of those little kind of those cold viruses that they're playing with in the advertisements. They always make me laugh, right? But it's not that virusy. It's a little worry that has, you know, the hair kind of stuck up here, maybe orange. It's coming from that image of, you know, the little dolls. And it's like this, right? And it doesn't want to go to sleep. It doesn't want to rest. But I'm gently guiding that worry down, and it's going into the spare bedroom in my mind, right? And I'm going to ask my worry to have a sleep. Just have a rest. Just have a rest so that I can sleep, and then we'll have a chat in the morning, right? If that worry is still there. That's the other thing. And so imagery, our brains love stories. Our brains love imagery. And even if you say to yourself, oh, I find it, and it's true, it's harder for sometimes some people to do the visualization and the imagery, but it's a skill. It's a skill to practice. And it does give it a little, for me, it's a little bit of a sense of comic relief, right? And I'm constantly exploring. I'm constantly playing with the different imagery. So this is something that you don't have to decide right now. You're just playing with it. In the evening, right, as we practice here in the morning, thinking about how you might put, now that worry can be a discussion, it can be a decision. So the discussion is, it might be a discussion that you had that particular day, and the thoughts as you're identifying are, oh, geez, I wonder if she really understood what I said. I wonder if I was clear. I hope that I didn't hurt her feelings. I wonder if she thinks this, right? Like you're going over this discussion, or he or she, or and what happens if this person talks to this person? Like this, right? This is our brain sometimes on a discussion, on a situation. Sometimes it's a surgery coming up. Sometimes it's for ourselves, sometimes for somebody else. And so there are worries, there are discussions, there are situations. And so the first thing that we're practicing is identifying that we're thinking about that. That's stage one in this practice. And so how we do that is we come into a quiet space of meditation, bringing our attention to our breath. And what I'd like you to notice is that when your attention leaves your breath and you start to think, are you thinking about the past? Are you thinking about the future? Are you just thinking in the moment of the process that we're doing? And if you notice that it's a worry, that it is something that you're replaying in your mind that you're worrying about, okay, I'd like you to just identify that for a moment, just worry, and then just tuck it off into another room if you like. Wherever you want to put this worry, right? You might want to send it down the river at this point, and know that potentially you're going to come back to it later. Now, it could be right after a meditation practice that you're going to journal and you're going to go through a process. But again, it might not be. Just dealing with that worry sometimes lets it dissipate. That's what's really, really cool. Okay, sometimes we don't have to hammer down with that worry. Sometimes we just call it out and identify it, and it's dealt with. So the very, very first part of this practice is having a relationship with our thoughts and being aware of what's percolating. So on that note, if you'd like to close your eyes or keep your eyes lightly open, tune in with your breath. And just as our relationship with our worries can be soft, right, restful, calming, just connect in with your breath this morning. Feeling the nurturing quality actually of your breath, the healing. Bringing our attention to our breath softens us. It can soften our worries. And then mindfulness meditation is paying attention to your breath, paying attention to one thing only, and as thoughts, feelings or sensations come up, they come into our awareness, we label them, and then we let them go. For today's practice, if you identify a thought that you feel it's a little bit of a worry, right? I'd like you to put that in a separate room, a separate area, a special space. And just say to that worry, have a little rest. Have a little rest now, and I'll check back in a little bit later. So I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes as you follow your breath. Feeling the temperature of your breath, the temperature of the air, the movement of your body as your breath flows in and flows out. And if and when your attention leaves your breath, just label the thought, tuck it away for a little rest if it's a worry, and come back to the anchor of your breath. And stay with your breath for a few more minutes. Just having fun labeling your thoughts, right? Planning or remembering or worry. Practice putting that worry to rest, even in different places. Different imagery. It is the time to play. It can be past or worries about past scenarios or upcoming future events. And as we finish in this last minute, know that it's okay not to have any worries. Sometimes it's just a decision that you're needing to make. You're just going to let that decision rest for a little bit. Your decision is in deciding to let the decision just rest. Just notice that difference. And come back to your breath. Feel the air coming in through both nostrils. Feel the movement of your chest, your belly. Feel the prana, the life energy filling you up for the rest of the day. Right, to have that energy to meet all that comes your way today and this weekend. As we slowly start to stretch and move and open our eyes. Fluttering open. And again, this is quite a process. It's ever-changing. There will be new discoveries, new ways of thinking about things. And so even that idea of making a decision about a decision that you're not going to make the decision. This is especially helpful at night because your mind will keep going through. And so, yeah, You're just putting that decision, that worry, that reflection even to rest, and focusing on perhaps it's okay to be thinking before bed, for sure. Sometimes we're actually even just planning something that's coming up and it's making us feel good. We're looking forward to a trip. We're looking forward to something on the weekend. Our job is just to notice what we're thinking about, because we can manage those thoughts. But we can't manage those thoughts if we're not aware of what those thoughts are. That's what meditation gives us. That's the skill that meditation gives us. And so, on that note, I hope you had fun playing with that. And for now, you can decide. You might have said to that worry, I'm going to journal about you after meditation. And if you did, that's fantastic. Pull your pages out now, your journal out now, and you can go through, right? Is this worry true? Right? And you can go, we're going to go through the process next week as well, but you can start thinking about how you like to manage worries, and we will dig into that. And so thank you very much for joining in this morning. Again, welcome to those of you who are watching the replay, perhaps from our Empowerment Day, and have a fantastic weekend as we bring our hands together, heart center. Namaste.